there's a couple passages about wives submitting to their husbands, and those are usually the passages where I was like, why? It wasn't because I wanted to lord myself over men. It wasn't that at all. It was just, why do I have to submit to any authority other than God? I mean, culture is just pushing this idea so hard on girls. It's very subtle. You wouldn't be able to pinpoint that as a young child. And I think that really influences us negatively, and that's kind of how it all started for me.
Like, there's some truth to it. Like, we are equal in a sense of like how God loves us.
Hey, I'm just interrupting this episode real quick just to say I'm sorry for the quality of the audio. There was some difficulties with the recording, and so if the quality of the audio is bad or you hear some like creaking chairs in the background, I'm just sorry that that's the situation this time. Thank you so much for listening.
Hello and welcome to the Living Life for Real podcast. I can't count how many times I've had to say that already. We have had a lot of takes. We had some issues. Oh yeah, I keep saying we. I do have a guest with me. Yeah, my name is Evelyn Byers. I'm your host, and this is my friend Avi Hummel.
Hello.
Yeah, we've done a few takes. We had some issues. Avi had a squeaky chair. She could not stop squeaking the chair.
I'm in a swivel chair.
Yeah, we're in swivel chairs, and I guess Avi does not know how to sit still in a swivel chair.
Who sits still in a swivel chair?
I mean, I'm sitting still in the swivel chair. Like, it's the squeaky one. I mean, I might be like really conscious of not swiveling, but like, I'm not swiveling, so I don't know. Okay. This is so stupid. I don't know why we're talking about this. But anyways, so yeah, Avi, she is going to be going off to college soon.
Yes.
Like, in a week. So,
yeah.
Yeah, is it what?
The 23rd.
23rd, so is that 8 days?
8 days.
8 days, yeah. So I was like, we have to record a podcast together before you go. So
It's been a long time coming.
I know, it has been a long time coming. It's been a long
I knew you were going to do that.
Sorry, I'm not singing Taylor Swift. Okay. Okay, can you see why we've had to have a lot of takes so far? It's been bad. But anyways, so do you want to tell everybody where you're going off to college?
Olivet Nazarene University in Bourbonnais, Illinois.
Nice. And what's your major?
Criminal justice. Yeah.
So Avi is going to be a girl boss, and that kind of leads right into our topic. We're going to be talking about feminism, which is, a little controversial. Yeah, but we're going to get into it, and we're going to get real. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, I definitely really wanted to talk about this because I think this is something that doesn't get talked about enough in churches and in youth groups, and I believe it's something that a lot of girls are probably struggling with, and people just don't realize it. So I think it's important to talk about it.
Yeah, it's something that just gets so overlooked just because in our culture they overhype it and they overemphasize it so much, and they make it seem like it's something that's good and that everybody should be feeling that way. And truth is, a lot of people do feel that way. They just don't know how to handle it properly and how to handle those feelings about feminism. So we're going to start with the definition of feminism, just for those of you that maybe don't fully understand the concept. Avi's got it for us.
So the dictionary says the advocacy of women's rights on the basis of the equality of the genders, which is basically saying it's about equality.
And I do think that's also important to note that there's some truth to it. We are equal in a sense of how God loves us. God loves us all equally. In John 3:16, he said, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life." He said, anyone, whoever. We're all loved equally, and we all have the same rights to salvation as long as we believe in him and trust in him and surrender to him. And so I think there is a truth to that. Yes, we are all equal. We're all loved equally. Mm-hmm. But we also we're not technically created equal because men and women are different. Like in the Bible in Genesis, he like had distinctions between those. Like he did create human, but there is a difference between man and woman. And I think that's important that like so many people say like we're all equal, and I think yes, we are all equally loved, but we're not equally created. There are obvious differences.
Yeah, and I think something that kind of goes along with that is in the idea of feminism, from like a worldly view, a lot of people are promoting more women to work, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but a lot of people are kind of edging away from the idea of marriage and family and having children. And the truth is God put a nurturing instinct in women to want to have children, to want to raise children. And the Bible says, be fruitful and multiply. So while it's okay to want to do something in the world, it's okay to work as a woman, but you shouldn't just be choosing not to have children because that makes you weak or that makes you less than someone else, because that's what God calls us to do.
No, yeah, that's definitely real. And like I said earlier, it's like obvious she's gonna be a girl boss. Like, and that's okay. Like if your desire is to work hard, like there's so many amazing women that are like doing things for the Lord, and so many girls that work in industries and that are just really gifted in that, and that's like totally okay if that's your calling. If your calling is to go out and work, that is okay. But also some people, like God is called just to be a stay-at-home mom. And I don't want to say it like just, because that's still an amazing, like that's an amazing calling. Like everybody is just called differently. And maybe you're both. Maybe you are a mom, but you're also working. Like that's okay. It's okay to be a girl boss. It's okay to be a mom. It's okay to be a girl boss and a mom. Like it really, like everybody is different. And what I hate is when, you know, like the girls who are like working like really hard like in an industry are like looking down on the people that are moms. Right. But then I also hate when it's the reverse, when moms are like, no, you shouldn't be working, like you're supposed to be a mom. Like I think it goes both ways, and I think that you just got to be okay and understanding with everybody, and that everybody has a different calling and different purpose, like, and like God has gifted everybody differently, and that's okay. I do want to say something more before we get more into this. Like, this is something that Avi and I have honestly talked about a lot over the years. Yes. Like, we've been friends for a really long time. Like, it's probably been, like, I don't even know, like...
A lot of years.
Like, at least, like, 4 years, I feel like, where we've been close. But we've known each other for, like, at least, like, 7 years. 7 years. 6 or 7. Sorry, guys. I'm actually really immature.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah, she doesn't get that from me at all.
No, okay. So, we've been friends for a really long time, and this is something we've really talked like a lot about, and we haven't always necessarily viewed things the same way. And like both of us, like as it's gone on, have changed our views. Like I feel like I definitely. Both of us, I feel like we both, like, years ago would have been more pro-feminism, especially as a young girl, like, living in the world that we live in, it's easy to feel pro-feminism because it's, like, you don't even fully, like, grasp the concept of it, and you don't even fully grasp, like, what the Bible really says about it. And so I feel like it's so much easier to even just be pro-feminism when you're younger.
Right, because it's the idea you can do anything. Like you can do the same things as a man, and when you're just hearing, if that's all you're hearing and you're a young girl, it's kind of easy to jump onto that and to want to believe it. So yeah, I agree. I think it's very easy.
Yeah, and it's just like as simple as like those silly little sayings, like when you're little, like the girls rule, boys rule. It's like just even those little sayings are like, you know, boosting that idea of feminism. And if like that's the message you're getting told like when you're younger, like that's only going to encourage that as you're getting older. Now, that was kind of like a little tangent there, but like I'll just say we've been talking about this for years, and like both of us, like our views have slowly like shifted over time, and there's even been times where we haven't necessarily viewed things exactly the same. Even now, we may not view things exactly the same,
right?
But like that's also the beauty of it. Like we can both share like our insight about it, and like, you know, there's not necessarily one right answer about it either. Like it's
a complicated topic.
It is, because yes, like the Bible does say things about it, and it's hard because that was in such a different world. That was such a different time. And so things are going to look different then than they do now. And that's like what makes it tricky. It's like, okay, so now how do you go about it, applying what the Bible says, but also applying it to the world that you live in? And so that's why it is tricky, but it's also important to talk about it, because it's one of those things that, like, if you don't talk about it, then you're going to have like a completely wrong view of it, versus like if we're talking about it, at least you kind of understand both sides, you know? But anyways, so that leads into my question. I was just gonna ask, like, will you share kind of like how your view of feminism has evolved and like what that journey was like for you?
Yeah, so when I was probably, what was it, like 13 that we first started like talking about just the idea of feminism? 13 or 14?
Probably, yeah, 13, 14.
Yeah, so
something like that.
It was kind of just like this idea, like it's hard to not hear these ideas like coming from the world of feminism and all that. And to me, I didn't even know what feminism was, but I knew what the idea of it was, and I liked that. And I've always kind of been a very driven person, and so I liked the idea that men and women are the same. Like if I want to do something that is usually something a man does, I can do it if I want to. So I like jumped on that very quickly, and it escalated a lot to the point where in my mind I kind of I mean, I was a Christian, obviously, and I agreed with Christian views, but in my mind I kind of considered myself a feminist at the same time. And it was when I was just hanging out with other girls and reading the Bible. There's certain verses in the Bible that would kind of make me go, oh, like I don't know that I agree with that. And I didn't like that about myself. Like I didn't like that I was reading something out of the Bible and not sure if I agreed with that, because I never questioned my faith personally. I always believed in God, and I always wanted to be a Christian, and so that's why I really wanted to kind of just dive into that whole thing. And so that led to a lot of conversations with people in my life that I trust, including Evie and my dad and pastors and stuff. And so it's kind of escalated since then, and my mindset has definitely changed from what it was originally. But yeah, it was a lot of prayer and conversations, and I would still say that there's probably some growth, but everyone is on their own journey, and sometimes you just have to be okay with not understanding something, and it's about trusting God. So it's not like saying that you don't agree with God. It's just saying, I don't understand this, but I'm going to trust you anyway and just do what he wants you to do. So that's kind of where I've been for a while now.
Yeah. Do you want to kind of like just explain for everybody, like kind of what part of it did you like not really understand? Like what part was hard for you to really grasp?
So there's a verse in the Bible. There's a couple verses. A lot of it is in the New Testament, actually, and I think it's Peter, one of them, and there's a couple passages about wives submitting to their husbands, and those are usually the passages where I was like, why? And it wasn't because I wanted to lord myself over men. It wasn't that at all. It was just, why do I have to submit to any authority other than God? And yeah, that was a big reason why I was confused, and it wasn't me, angry at God, like, why are you making me do this? It was just like me trying to understand. And so it was kind of a hard time, actually, because I would have a lot of conversations, and like with my dad especially, and every time at the end of them, I mean, he's very insightful, but at the end of them, I never like got to the point where I was like, oh, I get it now. And so that was definitely frustrating. But yeah, I'd say that's probably one of the main ones.
Yeah, I feel like that's the one that is almost like the hardest for me too. Like it's hard, but I feel like it's one of those things. It's the same like when they say that God always has been and always will be. It's like, as a person, understanding that and having understanding of the concept, like it's so hard because I only understand the concept of time. Like everything has a start and everything has a finish. Like things can't just be going on forever. And that's something like you have to just trust that it's true, even if you don't understand it. Even if you don't understand how and you don't understand the why, you at least can believe it and you're like, okay, I know that it's true because that's what God has said.
Mm-hmm. And something my dad would always tell me whenever we brought this up was that if you marry a good man, he's not going to make you do something that you don't want to do. But every time he said that, I would be like, well, what if he changes? And what if he says something and I don't want to do that? Or, something's wrong. And the answer is it's all God's plan, and it's all just about trusting him. And you don't have to do something that's against God's will because your husband tells you to. But it's more about he has the final say, and if he is a godly man, then he's in communion with God, and the final decision is going to be the godly one.
Yeah, like I've heard stories of like a girl saying that she really felt led for them to move. She felt like God was telling her that they weren't supposed to stay in that city and that they needed to move. And her husband was kind of just like, well, I haven't felt God tell me that yet, so I think we should stay here a little longer. And that was really hard for her because she's like, I feel like we need to move. Like, I know that is what God's telling me. And it was over a year before finally her husband ended up being like, okay, I feel like I know now that we are supposed to move. Like, God has really called me to that. And so then they ended up moving. And that's just like one of those stories that like she may have felt like it was time to move and she may have been ready, but he wasn't. And because, he was the head of the house, she submitted to that and was like, okay, I'm going to wait and just trust that God is going to, speak this into my husband. And that's something you can pray. Like now, like whether you're single or married, dating, you can pray that whoever like your future husband is or whoever your husband is, that when you feel called to do something, that God would also speak that into his life and that he would be able to lead you guys well in that.
I'm probably going to butcher this, but there's something that someone I trust told me once about this topic, and it's about the word submission. And so if you break it apart, submission, and the definition wasn't, the way he explained it, it wasn't what most people think it is. So he gave the analogy like the husband is the mission, and sub is a Latin prefix, I think, and it means things that go under, like Subway. And so it's under the mission. And so the idea is that a man and a woman together complete the mission. And the woman is under that, as in something that like lifts that off. Kind of gives the man a boost, I guess, is how he explained it. That wasn't exactly how he said it, but it was something like that.
No, that's cool. And that kind of just like, reminds me again of like when they said in Genesis, like God, he first made man, but he said like man wasn't good enough alone. Like exactly. He needed a helper. Like that's what God says. Like, so he created a helper. That was women. Like he made women to be the helper to man. And I think that that's really cool because that's kind of like explaining that better just in like submission. Like, yeah, we're two different people and like we may not be equal to men, but men also like they were created first, but they needed us. So I think that that's important. Like it's not that men are just better because they're not. We're all equal. Like God loves us all equally, and he created us because he knew we were needed in the world. Like we are just as important.
And I think you'll find a lot, now this isn't true for everyone, but in a lot of couples, you'll find that the woman is often the coordinator in the family. I mean, typically male breadwinner, and the female is kind of the house coordinator. And if she wasn't there, it would be chaos. And so obviously they work together and complete the family. And yeah, like I said, it's almost like a woman kind of lays that foundation. And if you kind of took that away, it would all just fall. So the idea is women are valued. And in a lot of Bible stories in the New Testament, Jesus is going to women first. Like when he rose from the dead, the first person that he revealed himself to was a woman. And same with the story of the woman at the well. And so you'll find just throughout the whole Bible, God values women and they are important. They're not just some extra piece in the story. So
yeah, I think that's always really cool to see in the Bible, just how much God does value women. Because, it's so hard because there's so many stories where like the main character is like a man, Yeah. And I feel like it's easy to think, oh, like we're not as valued. But it's just because in that culture, like men were more respected, and so I feel like the man just had so much more impact when it came to things. But I like how, like, especially in the New Testament, like, there's so many more stories with, like, women, and you just especially see Jesus, like, how well he interacted with women and how much he respected them, and I feel like that just shows, like, the true value, because the way Jesus treats people is how people should be treated.
Right. And that's what the Bible calls men to do.
Mm-hmm.
And in that same verse that I was saying that kind of bothered me about wives submitting to your husbands, right after that it says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. And Jesus laid down his life for us. So that's calling men to love their wives the way Jesus loves us.
Yeah, and I think that that's, like, so important, because I've always heard, like, about how the way, like, a marriage works best is when, yes, husbands are loving their wives, and then wives are submitting to their husbands, because a man, like, his deep, like, desire is to be respected, and a woman, like, her deep desire is to be loved. And so, like, if you're not both showing that, then, like, if a husband isn't loving his wife, then a wife isn't going to want to respect her husband. And then if the husband isn't getting that respect, he's not going to want to love his wife. And so it's just one of those things, it's so hard. And once you get caught in the cycle of not doing it, it's just so much easier to, like, stay with that. And that's why you just got to be intentional with starting things off by being intentional about submitting to your husband, and then your husband loving his wife.
Yeah, and I kind of want to add to that, not undermining any of that at all, but something that I've also been told by some trusted people is that it can go both ways. Women can love their husbands just as passionately the way Jesus loves us, because God is supposed to be both a mother and a father figure. So it's not just men who are supposed to be imitating him. So women, yes, are also supposed to love their husbands, and they're also supposed to be respected as well. Not in the same way, but it's okay to want to be respected just as another person.
Yeah, I definitely think it is just, like, a desire everybody, like, has, like, is to be respected. And I think that that's definitely okay. Like, you should want to be treated well and like a human being. Like, you shouldn't want to be disrespected, because that's not okay. Like, men should be respecting you in a sense. But there's definitely a difference between, like, you know, respecting and then, like, submitting. Like, I think both men and women should be respected, but in the end, it is the woman who's supposed to submit. And so I think that that's, like, the only distinction I would really say. I also feel like something to put into perspective a little bit is that, like, God also gives men this, like, God-given desire to be respected and to be the leader of the household. God literally, like, says he's given that desire to men, and, like, that's, like, supposed to be his role. And so then women, like, a lot of us women have this desire to lead and to be in charge, and, like, in the workforce, I feel like that's okay. But when it comes to the household, like, in the end, your husband is the one who's supposed to be the leader. And I feel like a lot of us women, we have this desire for control, and I think some of it is okay, but in the end, we should be submitting, and some of that desire can be sinful. Some of that desire, like, I'm not gonna say that all desires for control are bad, because that's not true, but there are certain times when you're just desiring to control your husband or to be the one in control, that can lead to sin. And in the end, like, if you think that your desire for control, like, is strong, like, imagine, like, how your husband feels. Well, he's literally been given this God-given desire to lead, and you have this, like, sinful desire to be the leader of this household. Like trying to compare that is kind of just crazy to me, to think that, like, the sinful desire we have earns us the right when men have this God-given desire, you know? That's just a little something.
Yeah.
Here. Also, just so you guys know, we might sound a little weird because we're both, like, kind of recovering from colds.
Yeah, I got it from her, definitely.
Yeah, she probably did. But I got it from Callie, so...
Okay, well, Callie isn't here, so I'm blaming you.
Yeah, I got it from Callie, Avi got it from me. Yeah.
I don't feel very good right now, but I still showed up.
Yeah, no.
because that's what I do.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'll just say, like, we're recovering from colds, so if our voices sound weird, that is why. But also, back to the questions.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, how do you think culture has, like, shaped your views on feminism? And what is one message that culture is, like, telling women, or, like, especially, like, young girls, that you, like, would really like to see change?
Culture is the biggest thing that's influenced me, honestly. I mean, it influences everyone. Sorry, my hair was stuck to my lip gloss. Yeah, anyway, I mean, culture is just pushing this idea so hard on girls, and I mean, it's going to be even worse the older we get. And I mean, I wouldn't have had an issue with this if it weren't for, you know, just movies and music. And I mean, it's very subtle. You wouldn't be able to pinpoint that as a young child. And I think that really influences us negatively, and that's kind of how it all started for me. I really wish that marriage wasn't so hated on, and that, you know, it's okay to be, and we kind of talked about this earlier, but it's okay to have a desire to be a mother and to be a wife, and that doesn't make you any less than anyone else. And I mean, you have the opportunity to do that, and you also have the opportunity to work. And I mean, it's not bad one way or the other, but I really wish that culture didn't undermine that so much and make it sound like that's lame, or just like, oh, you're just a stay-at-home mom. Like, what do? You know, that's so false, because being a stay-at-home mom is one of the most difficult jobs ever. And I haven't even been one, but I already know.
I know, I have so much respect for those moms.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, that's probably one of the biggest things I would say, just being more open to women who want to just be a wife and have a family, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I was really gonna say the same thing, like, because that's something, like, I really want to do. I really want to someday be a wife and to be a mom. And I feel like culture really does just, like, bring that down a little bit. Like, it's not okay to just be a stay-at-home mom. But I think that either way you go, it's okay, because everybody has a different calling. Like, I have so much respect for women that are passionate about working and that spend their life, like, really giving themselves to a cause. And I also have so much respect for the moms that are just, you know, they stay at home and they're with their kids, and they really invest in their kids, because those are relationships that are so important. They're raising more Christians. That's so important, just as important it is to be in the workforce or to share the gospel. Like, whatever it is that you're doing that's for your job, I think all of those things are important. And I have respect for anybody that does any of those things. And so I feel like that's the one thing I would like to see change, like, mutual respect for all of those things. Because I see so much, like, you know, moms not respecting the women who are in the workforce, and then, you know, women not respecting people who are moms. And I know I said that earlier, but that would be the thing that I feel like I have the hardest time with. You know, everybody is called to different things, and that's okay. Not everybody's going to live their life the same way.
Right.
Now, I know you kind of already talked a little bit about this earlier, about just being, like, super ambitious, but, like, how have you navigated, like, those ambitions alongside your beliefs?
So, yeah, I've always, like, really wanted to do something, you know, and again, like I just said, not at all undermining just, you know, staying at home and being a mom, but I always wanted to work. And I know eventually I want to settle down, but as of right now, I definitely feel called into criminal justice and to really do something with that. I would say that whatever you're doing, as long as you are being a light to those around you, then you're fulfilling your calling. So all that to say, it's definitely okay to be ambitious and to want to do something as a woman, and that doesn't make you sinful for wanting to do that. So yeah, I would say having a calling into something more work related is perfectly okay, and you're still a good Christian woman, and as long as you remain active in your faith and take opportunities to evangelize to other people, then you're good.
I agree with all of that 100%. And like for me, like I know I want to do something. Like as I said, like I really do want to be a wife and a mom at some point. But I know I want to do something else along the way, whether that's part-time or before I have kids. I don't know yet. But that's the thing. I don't know what I want to do. And so that's the hard thing. It's like I'm stuck in this spot of like not knowing what I want to do, but I know I want to do something. And like that's also okay. It's like okay to, have these ideas and to be ambitious. And it's okay to just not know, but to be ambitious about something. And it's also okay to just not have as much of those ambitions. Like wherever you are at, like that's okay. Like God has you there for a reason. Like you're in, maybe it's just a season. Like I don't know, like God has you perfectly placed wherever you are. And just trust in Him and what He says. And that's all you can really do, because the world will tell you things. And the world may say that like that's not right, like you can't do that, or like that's not really what God's calling you to do. But in the end, like you have to trust what you know God is leading you towards. And that goes for anybody, like men and women.
Yeah, so going with that, this is kind of off topic, but just being in that season of waiting where you don't know what you want to do is perfectly fine too. There's a lot of pressure right now on people our age, really, when you're starting to get, she's a senior, I just graduated, everyone is asking us what we want to do.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not know.
I know, it's like my least favorite question I'm ever asked. Like, if you're listening, please don't ask me that question. I do not like it. I never know how to answer it. People are like, what do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to go to college? Are you going to college? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, every time, like, I've got to find, like, a new way to answer the question. Like, it's like a game. I'm like, how do I answer the question this time that's not like how I answered it last time? Like, how do I say I don't know in 10,000 different ways?
Exactly.
Like, it's just, it's annoying. I'm not gonna lie. And so, yeah.
Just don't hurt some feelings right now, I think. But
I might be hurting some feelings. I'm sorry. If you've asked me that question and you're listening, like,
I'm sure she loves you very much.
I do love you. I love you no matter what. But I don't like being asked that question. And that's okay. I know I ask people that question too. Like, I'll meet people my age and I'm like, oh, what do you want to do? And I'm like, oh, did I just burden them with the question? Yeah. This is so off topic. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh,
yeah, you were saying about how it's okay to not know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you're in that season of waiting, because I think everyone's been there before. Are you laughing?
No.
Okay.
I'm smiling, but whatever.
Okay. Yeah, in a season of waiting, it's just important to trust God. And, I mean, people will tell you that all the time, and it's like, oh, yeah, trust God. Okay. Like, it's definitely not easy to do, but it's really just about just having a peace about it. It's not like you have to be constantly thinking, what am I going to do? It's just, if God hasn't revealed that to you yet, then He hasn't, and you just have to accept that and be okay with it. And when you're in those seasons, it's really important to just focus on what you can do right now. And that's, looking for opportunities to evangelize or to just, be a good person to the people around you. And you can always, even if you don't know what your long-term calling is, you can always be being a light to other people.
Mm-hmm. So true.
That was my off-topic 2 cents.
And something else I wanted to bring up, which is even more off-topic, but as I was saying earlier, like, what I was saying was for both men and women, like, it's okay to not know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. But I do kind of want to talk about, like, I want to talk to the men a little bit and just kind of about them for a second. As much as, like, feminism is a thing right now, there's just so much of, like, men not stepping up right now. And I think that that's something that's really hard, and it's partially because of feminism. Like, so many women are like, oh, I want a man to, like, take care of me and to be sweet, and I want him to drive me around and pick me up and pay for my meals, but I also want to be the one to, like, work really hard and be the girl boss and all these things. And I think that, I don't want to undermine that, because I think that it is okay to be ambitious, to be a girl that wants to do all these things, but also like when we're taking over the role and trying to like be like that leader and that head over men, like it is gonna make them less. What word? What word am I trying to say here? Leading? I don't
Less action taking.
Action taking? I don't know.
No. That
Man,
like,
we're having a hard time with this. Okay, I'm literally gonna look up a word.
men less. I have something too I'm gonna say after you finish.
Okay.
Initiative? Less taken. Less active? Deliberate! No.
I mean, I still don't know. I even looked up some words in a thesaurus, but like, I'm trying to think of like a good word, but like, I don't know if it's like initiative or just like.
Yeah, I said that one.
Or I don't know. It's not control, but like, you kind of know what I'm saying. Like,
Less willing to step up.
Yeah, less willing to step up. Like, men aren't gonna step up and be that like godly leader that you need if you're trying to take that role from them. Like, you can't both want to be the one driving the car and want to find a man that wants to drive you, if that makes sense. Like, that's just a silly example, like, but it kind of makes sense. Like, you can't say, oh, I want to drive and have them drive at the same time. Like, it just doesn't work. And I feel like that's kind of what women are doing in a lot of other aspects. They're like, no, I want to be the one in control. I want to lead the relationship. But they're also like, especially in the Christian world, they're like, but I want to find a godly man who's like a godly leader that's going to lead my family. You can't find a godly leader if you're trying to be the godly leader.
Amen.
In that sense, which is okay. The way I worded that sounded kind of bad. Like you still want to be like a godly person, and like you can be a leader in a sense. But what I mean is like you're not like trying to be the one that's in control and trying to have your husband submit to you. Like you're still submitting. Yeah, had to reword that one a little bit.
Ladies, I want to talk to you for a second. There's a thing right now about first dates. And when you go out to eat, and it comes time to pay for the meal, and there used to be this big thing, the man is always supposed to pay. And with feminism, women are all like, I can pay for the first meal, and men are always like, I feel wrong letting you do that. Let's be real, guys. Why do you want to pay for the first meal? Like, I know who actually wants to. How far do you want to go with making a statement? I mean, I'm sure you can. And I'm sure the man will say, I know you can pay for the meal, but like, just let him pay for the meal. It'll make him feel better.
Exactly. And also if your man doesn't want to pay for your food,
Red flag.
That is a red flag. Like if your man isn't wanting to lead you and to like take care of you, that is a red flag. Like even if it's a simple thing like paying for a meal on the first date, like I wouldn't necessarily say, oh, don't ever go out with him again. But I would be like...
He might just be a little naive.
Yeah, but I would definitely be like, okay, pay attention. Because, like, even if it's simple things, like, you want someone who's going to take care of you, so...
Exactly.
Yeah, that's my hot take, honestly, is that, like, guys, they should be paying for the meal.
It's
like,
kind of just like a little tradition.
Yeah.
I don't know why we need to get rid of that tradition.
Not necessarily. Yeah, exactly. I don't have to pay. But not necessarily like every time. Like it doesn't have to be every single thing. Like it's okay for girls to be like, hey, like we've been dating for a while. I want to treat you this time.
Yeah.
Like
or splitting.
And that's sweet.
Honestly, like once you know the person more, like splitting the bill, that's okay. Completely fine. But on a first
even
date,
then, especially like there can still be times when the guy's like, I'm gonna pay.
Yeah.
Like a guy, like, honestly, I'm gonna speak to you guys again for a second. If your mindset isn't, I'm planning to pay, then you need to change that mindset. Like, a girl, like, go on to the date, like, don't, like, leave your purse. Like, the girls that I've seen do that, like, I'm just not even gonna bring my purse because he better pay. Like, no, you can still bring your purse and, like, be willing to pay. But a guy, you should step up. You should be the one to pay. But yeah, I know that was kind of like a little off topic, but had to go on that rant because it is still relevant.
It is relevant. Yeah. Avi has a verse for us.
Oh my gosh. She's taking control of my podcast. What the actual freak. Oh wait, should I say that? I don't know if I should say that on the podcast.
You said freak.
I know I said freak, but like, I don't know. Some people think that's a bad word.
Yeah, but you might want to cut that out. Or just
Yeah.
you should bleep it. That would be so much. That would be so funny.
I'm not bleeping.
Evie is cussing up a storm, bro.
That's so bad. Imagine if somebody just missed that. I wasn't cussing. I said freak. But
A
anyways.
little unhinged. Evie has a verse.
I do have a verse. Anyways, yeah. Yeah. Back to the verse. Sorry, we've been a little goofy. I don't know. Slap happy. Just a little slap happy.
We're both sick, remember?
We are.
We're a
That
bunch of
might
sickos.
But also this is how we act when we hang
On
out.
a regular basis.
Honestly, it makes sense. Anyways, I have a verse. So it's Proverbs 31, which is, the main Bible verse, for women. This is this section. Every woman should read this at some point because it's so important.
Yeah, a lot of Christian women like this verse.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm going to read through the whole thing. It's verse 10 through 31 verse 10 through...
Evie has a lot of
31.
verses for us.
Yeah, it's a lot of verses actually, but I think the whole passage is important, so I'll just try to speed through it. An excellent wife who can find, she is far more precious than jewels. The heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. She does him good and not harm in all the days of her life. She seeks wool and flax and works with willing hands. She is like the ships of the merchant. She brings her food from afar. She rises while it is yet night and provides food for her household and portions for her maidens. She considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard. She dresses herself with strength and makes her arms strong. See, girls, it's okay to work out. Anyways, she perceives that her merchandise is profitable. Her lamp does not go out at night. She puts her hands to the distaff. Wait, is that right? I don't even know what that word is.
Where?
She puts her hands to the distaff. I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
Yeah, you can look that up while I'm reading. Her hands hold the spindle. She opens her hand to the poor and reaches out her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of snow, for all her household are clothed in scarlet. She makes bed coverings for herself. Her clothing is fine linen and purple. Her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them. She delivers sashes to the merchants. Strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and teachings of kindness is on her tongue. She looks well to the ways of her household, and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women have done excellently, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Yeah, it's just so good, man. It's such a good passage. But anyways,
Yeah,
did you find that definition?
There may have been a part where I kind of rolled my eyes. It wasn't at you, it was because my phone is not connected to the internet. So we don't get to know what the
if you want to know, what was that word
What if we're just two blondes and everyone else knows what the word means? And we're just looking it up for our own benefit.
Oh, wait, actually, I might be able to tap it and it might give me the definition. Wait, no, it doesn't. That's actually really sad.
The Bible app does not do that.
That's sad. Okay, they should. But anyways, yeah, if you want to know what the word distaff, or I don't even know how you pronounce it. If you want to,
Distaff.
yeah, it's distaff. If you want to know what that means, you can look it up for yourself.
Let us know in the comments.
Yes, actually, that would be
Yeah.
nice, because I'll probably forget by the time this is over, and then I won't look it up. So yeah. Anyways, let's go back to some of those verses, because some of those are really good, and I had stuff to say about them. I think. Yeah, as I said, she dressed herself with strength and makes her arms strong. I think, that is really cool. It's pointing out, women, it's important that we're strong. We shouldn't just be sitting idly. We should be working hard.
Right. And there's actually a verse in the Bible. I keep saying verses and not knowing the reference, but
okay.
There's a verse about how God values a gentle and quiet spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to take that what does that mean? So I can't just be a strong woman, I have to be gentle and quiet. And no, it's not what that means. The verse goes to show that God values strength in a woman as well. So I find that very encouraging.
And also, like, the verse, it's verse 16, she says, or it says, she considers a field and buys it. Like, that's just, it's like a simple little statement, but it's like, you know, I even just think of, you know, like real estate and like all the, like, I know that's kind of random, but like all these different things, like even in the Bible, like she considered a field and she bought it, like she worked, and like, and also like, I know I'm like going 25 different directions right now. I need to like lock in, but it's okay. Like it says she considers. She doesn't make flippant decisions. Like she's thoughtful. Like she's intentional. And then like it says like she buys it. Like she takes that initiative. She works hard. She does the thing. And I think that that's really cool. Like even in the Bible, like women, like it was important to work hard. And in the Bible, it was different context, like a different context than it is now. Like now it's more like you actually have like an official job. Like back in the day, it was more like you just did little things around for your household and you did things for your husband, but that's still working hard. Like it still shows how important it was and is to be a hardworking woman, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you're like a CEO of $1 billion company. Like whatever it is, like you should be working hard. Real, I know. But yeah, either way, like you shouldn't be idle. You should be busy. Like there's even a verse somewhere in here where it says like she is not idle, and like there's so many, like it lists so many different things. Like she makes clothes, she makes bed coverings, she, you know, it does like all these different things. Like there's so many things that it said that had all these lists of things that she did, and I think that that's so cool. Like you should be able to like look at your day and be proud of what you've accomplished. Like whether that's little things or that's like one really big thing. Like you should be able to look back and think like as a woman that you did something and that you worked hard. And that's kind of just what this verse is saying. Like you should be a hardworking person.
Yeah. I also liked somewhere toward the end there it said her husband praises her, which is kind of another thing that I think a lot of Christians, when they hear that, like, wait, the Bible says that? And that kind of goes back to the idea of respect. And, you know, I just like that it said that the husband values her for all those things and attributes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, a woman, she should be desiring to live this out. But also, yeah, that's like a little call out to the husband, like, you know, if you have a wife, like, you are blessed with that. And if you have a wife, especially if she's living out these attributes, like, you should be, you know, speaking that and like loving her for that and showing that. And same with like a wife, just like she should be respecting him. I think it's definitely two ways. This episode has definitely been long, so we probably should start wrapping it up. But we could go on and on about Proverbs 31. Honestly, that could be a whole second episode.
It could also just be something that you study in your own free time if you're interested.
True. That's true. Point that out. But yeah, definitely if you're curious, like dissect that, because I love reading through that passage. It's really so good and encouraging, and it's like all the things. It's like I don't do that. Like she rises while it is yet night, basically meaning like you get up really early. I did not do that.
I think that kind of means it's more about being intentional with your life and not just sleeping the days away, but you don't need to get up at 4 a.m. if you don't want to.
Yeah, I know, but like, I still don't do that. Like, when I wake up, I am kind of lazy, and I definitely laugh at you. Yeah, I definitely sleep in. Like, I mean, honestly, to some people, like, I sleep in to like 9:30, 10. That's not that late to some people, but
it is to Avi. I have to get up early, but not super early.
Yeah.
Although she thinks it's super early.
It is super early.
It depends on the person.
You have to wake up at like 4 for your job.
No, not at 4. 4:45. That's a full 45 minutes later.
Bad. Okay, whatever. It's fine, whatever. I'm not gonna hate, but waking up early to me, like when I have to work, it's like 7:30. But
yeah, that's almost sleeping in for me.
Yeah, I mean everybody, I guess. Yeah, everybody's schedules are different.
So off topic, but
I know we need to get back on topic. Yeah, I do. I don't know what you said. Yeah, I do have one more question for you. how would you encourage the girl who just doesn't really know where she stands on feminism?
Yeah, I would just say that you're not alone, and because for me, one of the most discouraging things was I felt like no one else really understood. It just like really made me wonder, like, why am I feeling this way? Because I did struggle a lot with the ideas of feminism and, you know, why it's wrong. And a lot of the girls I was around, it didn't really seem like they were struggling with it as well. And I felt like I was the only one who really felt that way. And I just want to encourage you that you're not. And there are actually a lot of people. And that's another reason that I say that this needs to be talked about a lot more, because people feel like, you know, if you're feeling this way, you're likely not going to really think that anyone else is feeling that way if no one else is saying it. So, yeah, I would just say you're not alone, and really be bold enough to step out there and ask questions. Reach out to someone you trust, because I probably wouldn't be here if I didn't talk to someone about it, and I would probably still have some negative ideas. And yeah, I would just say, you know, feel free to reach out and definitely talk to people about it, pray about it. Yeah.
Because I think it's so important to understand that, like, a lot of these desires, like, are natural, and that's okay to, like, you know, not understand why, like, men and women aren't equal in certain areas. Again, like, I want to emphasize, like, we are loved equally, and so that's, like, important, like, we are equal in that way. But, you know, there are areas where we're not the same, and that's okay. And those distinctions, like, make us more valuable, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, because we're different, like, we have different things to offer. And I think, like, having a hard time understanding that and understanding why, it's okay. And I think that everybody can struggle with it at a different point and to a different extent. So it's definitely, like, okay to ask questions. It's okay to be curious. And it's okay to have some of those feelings about it. Like, as long as you're doing it in a way that is still, like, glorifying to God, and you're not doing things that, like, are against His will, because that's, like, when it really becomes sinful. Like, you don't have to fully understand the concept to still live it out, is kind of what I believe.
Yeah. And I would also just say, which we kind of touched on this earlier, but when you're in that position, and I mean, like I said before, it wasn't like I really knew or ever really understood fully. And so when you're in that position, it's really important to just give it to God and just let that go, because, and that was one of the hardest things I had to do, but when I realized that that's all it was, I just needed to trust God, then it just made it easier. And I mean, you may not for a while really fully understand this, but the important thing is to just trust God through that, and to just do what you can, you know, to follow out your calling, and just to be a godly person, even if you don't really fully understand things. And there are things throughout the entire Bible that I don't understand, like the book of Revelation. Like, just because I don't understand some of that doesn't make me a sinful person. And so it's the same idea. You're not going to understand a lot of things. There are a lot of mind-boggling things about God and the Bible, and you just have to trust Him. And there are some things we won't know until we get to heaven, and we just have to be okay with that.
Yeah, like, we talked about that, like, in my episode that I did with Callie. Like, we talked about how you may not, like, you may have a hard time fully grasping the concept of creation, and that's okay. Like, as long as you believe in the gospel and you have that relationship with Jesus, in the end, that is what truly matters. Like, it's okay. Like, honestly, like, you can be a feminist and be a Christian. Like, I know we're talking a lot about feminism and, like, our views about that, but, like, you could believe something completely different and still, like, believe that Jesus died for you and have that relationship with Him. Like, and that's okay. Like, everybody has different views. We're just sharing, like, you know, what we believe, and, like, just truth to you guys, and you guys can just do with that what you will.
Yeah, and I would even say that we still probably don't agree on every detail about this topic, and that's fine too. And I mean, there are probably people who lean more one way than the other, and there isn't really anything wrong with it as long as your desire is to be a Christian and to be a light to others, and that's what really matters.
God, yeah.
Yep.
Well, anyways, this has been a really good conversation. Like, I'm so glad, like, you came on the pod. Like,
Me too. It was cutting it a little close, but
I know. And, like, it's so fun because, like, again, like I said, we've had these conversations for years. Like,
right.
it's been a long time coming for us to have this recorded.
Yeah, she started this podcast when?
I mean, it's not been too long.
Yeah,
I
but
think
I was like,
only
oh,
10
you should
episodes.
feature me on an episode, and here I am about a week away from leaving, but
I
we
know.
got it done.
Yes,
So-
we got it done. That's the important part. By the
Yeah.
time it comes out, you'll be gone.
Okay, I'll listen to it.
That's really
Well,
sad.
I'm in college. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want you to leave, but it's okay.
It's okay. I'll be
Busy getting that criminal justice degree.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Being the girl boss or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, but
CEO of a billionaire. Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, I'm so glad you came on the podcast.
Me too. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and yeah, thank you guys for listening. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on YouTube. Be sure to follow, subscribe, and like anything. Or if you have any comments, be sure to share your thoughts. Cause
Yeah,
everyone-
like what this staff means.
Yes, please share. And you know, if you have views on feminism that maybe differ from what we've shared, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts because maybe you have something really cool to say that I'd love to hear. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. But anyways, yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in a few weeks.